She was 17 years old. 4 teenage boys kidnapped her. For 44 days, she endured a nightmare that no one could imagine. What happened to Junko Furuta is one of the most horrifying crimes in Japanese history, and it still haunts the world today. Junko was a bright, cheerful high school student living in Tokyo in the late 1980s. She loved school, hanging out with friends, and spending time with her family. She had dreams for the future, plans that would never come true. Her friends described her as kind and energetic, someone who lit up every room she walked into. The 4 boys who would destroy her life were from her neighborhood. At first, they were just troublemakers, skipping school, playing pranks, causing mischief. But together, they became monsters. Each boy had his own personality and quirks, but combined, they formed a group without conscience, capable of acts no one could imagine. One evening, Junko was tricked and lured into one of their homes. From that moment, her life was stolen. Her captors had a clear plan: total control. She would be trapped while they went about their lives as if nothing had happened. They ate, laughed, and attended school, all while keeping her imprisoned. The first few days were terrifying. Junko did not understand why this was happening to her. She tried to resist, but her captors were relentless. They began to impose strict rules, punishing her for the smallest movements or words. By the end of the first week, she was forced to call her parents and pretend she was safe. Every word she spoke was a lie, and every lie weighed on her heart. Meanwhile, the boys acted normally, as if she didn't exist. As the days passed, the abuse escalated. Each day brought new horrors, both physical and psychological. The boys laughed while tormenting her, turning her life into a constant cycle of fear and humiliation. Neighbors occasionally heard strange noises. Some suspected something was wrong. Some even glimpsed her through windows. But no one called the police. For 44 days, the world outside her prison ignored her suffering. By the second week, Junko's captors began using psychological tactics. They made her beg for basic needs, humiliated her in front of them, and forced her to comply with their twisted games. Time became meaningless. Every day felt the same: fear, isolation, and the constant threat of violence. The third and fourth weeks brought even more calculated cruelty. The boys alternated between periods of normal behavior and bursts of abuse. Junko tried to survive by remaining quiet, by hoping for mercy, by holding on to the faintest sliver of hope that someone would intervene. Neighbors heard screams and shouted words, but no one acted. Some rationalized it, some ignored it, some simply did not want to get involved. The indifference of those around her became part of the terror. In the final days, Junko's world had shrunk to the 4 boys and the dark house that had become her prison. She could see no escape. Each day was an exercise in surviving the unimaginable. When she finally died, her captors attempted to erase their crime. They hid her body in concrete, a grim attempt to cover up the horrors they had committed. The trial shocked the nation. 3 of the boys served fewer than 10 years in prison. One remains free to this day. The cruelty of their acts, combined with the inaction of neighbors and authorities, makes this case unforgettable, a chilling reminder of the darkness humans are capable of and the consequences of ignoring warning signs. Junko Furuta's story forces us to confront the darkest corners of human nature. It is a story about cruelty, neglect, and the horrifying ways people can abuse their power over others. Follow Scream Index. Face the darkest corners of human nature, if you dare.